Hello there, I'm Nigel Mill. Welcome back to a war-driven hellhole. That is Frostpunk 2. I am in the middle of a civil war, and well, both the I have decided to go against the Evolvers and the Faith Keepers because I don't like either of them, right? And but the problem is the Frostlanders over here are not in a good relationship with me. But the new Londoners are, uh, they are neutral with me, and I need both of them to support me in becoming a captain. Which the council session is going to be in 3 weeks. So let's see what we have here. This place is this place is the happiest place ever. I swear this place is just this place is a utopia for anyone and everyone willing to live here. And Winterhome, right? Winterhome is stable, but I didn't achieve my objective of having 9,000 people living in here because I didn't know how much time I had, so I just kept developing and developing New London. So hey, look at that! Now I have more Frostland teams. Cool. Maybe, hopefully, I will find more steam cores that I need, because I need 40 steam cores in order to get the last upgrade for the generator. But right now, I need to focus on fighting these two factions at the same time.
Steward.
I didn't force, to be peaceful, but well, in times of war, we can't prevent it.
Are you listening?
Casualties in fighting. Civil War. Stewart. 11 Evolvers died in a recent battle. They were overwhelmed as their opponents stormed with fervor and fury in their eyes. This will eventually lead to one side slaughtering the opposing faction. Higher fervor of warring faction means higher casualties. If one faction is decimated, the Civil War ends. That's exactly what I'm aiming for. Temporary stop to fighting. You have put an end to all pitched battles in your city. We can expect a respite from violence for several weeks, but as long as militants exist and no permanent solution of the conflict has been found, fighting will break out again sooner or later. Civil wars will start again if we take too long to resolve the entire conflict. We will find a permanent solution. Rule! Let's see how bad in favor is my captain's authority. Astonishingly bad. Why? Why? Wait a moment. If I guide vote... Frostlanders... I could build this, but it's not enough. New Londoners are mostly hesitant. But why... But why? Why is... They only have 2 delegate evolvers. I mean, 2 Fatekeeper delegates, and only 3 evolver delegates. So why is the law opposed? Why is it opposed? This does not make sense. That really doesn't make sense, but whatever. Whatever. It just means that I need to increase relations with everyone, whatever the hell they might want.
Steward.
So let's try and do that, I guess. Alright, here we go. Reverberating wreck. The scouts came to this peculiar wreck after hearing tapping on its hull. Descending the decks, they found no living souls, but discovered an automaton still tapping an SOS on the hull after 30 years. The scouts have nicknamed the machine the Tap Dancer. We could either cut the automaton free and send it to New London, or scrap it for all its cores. Only 1 core. Send it home. Thin ice. The warmer water beneath this thinner ice is teeming with fish. Occasionally a walrus can also be seen swimming through the schools looking for prey. Cool. And the last one is crashed hulk. A track transport lies wedged tightly in a crevasse. Rows of resigned faces visible through the windows. The engine at the front is a shredded mess. Ash and melted steel scarring the wall of ice where it collided. Its precious cores clearly destroyed. Our scouts plan to knock the transport down to the crevasse's bottom to easily salvage its materials and coals they could carefully remove the burr and bury the bodies first so that they are not crushed in the fall, but that will take more men and time. Take the cargo. I'll come back later. I don't need any of that. Come on, man. I need steam cores. I need steam cores.
The steward appreciates all your adoring letters.
Steward.
Alright. Deserters End. That's very ominous. A transport lies in pieces. Frozen corpses scattered around, unburied. Our scouts found a journal amongst the carnage. After a bloodshed weeks back, he's only got matter. He speaks of splitting atoms, setting the air on fire, ending the frost. He's declared this a one-way journey and hanged the men who argued, not waiting the same. Bury the bodies and go. Okay, that was a pointless fishing spot. A line of rusting shacks marks the ideal fishing spot. The wind calm, the ice thin enough to cut through. Schools of cod and carp swimming below. Char. I don't know what char is, but I know what cods are. Site of conflict. Hey, like what we're going through right now. A pair of broken down transports are flanked by unmarked graves. Neither damage nor death were the result of natural causes. If repaired, the transports could be useful for future expeditions. Then again, their cores could be useful too. Repair the transports. Take the cores. Take the cores. I'm slowly going to 40, very slowly. An explorer's grave. A pile of stones break the horizon. The cairn is both a grave and a cache. We firmly believe the core within the was left for whoever finds themselves in need and not for the explorer's journey in the afterlife. Some of the scouts fear disturbing the stones, while others point out that we can take the core and reassemble the cairn afterwards. Take the core. Frozen Grove. We found a grove of trees encased in snow and ice. The perfect site for the crew, with a wall drilled to extract timber. Yeah, well, I don't need timber, but yeah. 25, I don't have enough.
Steward. Steward.
Steward.
Steward.
Here, a steward. Steward.
Coup d'etat! Paths of order! Steward, the situation is getting out of hand. Officers of the guards are arguing you take control without delay. Now is not the time for sterile debates and half measures. Now is the time for a new captain to rise and save the city. Our men stand at the ready, said one of their leaders. What do you want to do? Declares of captains? Damn! Havgarda, if it comes to this, I will call on their loyalty. This will start a quest to prepare the coup, should you wish to. I do have 100 guards. I will. Or better yet, I will try to do that. 200 guards, my god. Okay. Rule. Captain's authority. Propose. Guided voting. And negotiate everything. Like, what do you want? Ventilation tower? I can give you that. And then negotiate for the Frostlanders for... No. This is not enough. Tell me this. Why do we need... Here. Why do we need... the Faith Keepers and the Evolvers if they only have 5 delegates between them, but I negotiate with the other 2 that are 58 and the other is 37, and yet I don't have enough. Okay, I will postpone this for a little while longer until, let's say, I can fund projects so that I can get more whatever, right? Let us see what I can do.
Stewart.
Faith Keepers take hostages. Hell no! Fighting spread. Steward. The Faith Keepers stormed a new district full of Evolvers' neighborhoods. They set buildings on fire to force them out before ruthlessly beating them. The Evolvers had to retreat, leaving many of their own behind. Now the Evolvers are begging you to help them free the captives. They're not fighters, some of them are children or elderly, pleaded a man whose family is held captive. Storming, I guess. Innocence should be protected.
Stewart.
Hammock does nothing.
Yes, detaining militant, civil war, Steward. We have detained a group of militant, violent faction members. They have been thrown in prison for now, but we will still count them among the members of the faction and citizens of our city. It is up to you to decide what will become of them. Cool.
Stewart.
You will be Stewart's militia. I need more guards. What? Only 2? Only 2 more? Bull crap.
Honorable Steward. Steward.
Steward. Steward.
Steward. Please, Steward.
I could stage cool. I could stage the coup. Does that give me... Nope. Yeah. Here we are. All hail the captain. Faith of order. Path of order. The steward is no more. The council has declared you captain, and so now you control the council. You have effectively seized all power to make laws in the city. Yet the militants who battle each other in the streets refuse to recognize your new authority. You cannot end the violence and ensure lasting unity until they are brought to heel. You must order your guards to root out military and silence militancy and silence dissident by forcing all faction members to sign an oath of loyalty or face the consequences. Trust will never decrease. The council votes however you wish. Time to enforce my rule. Captain's authority. Secure my rule. Securing your rule. Path of order. Captain, the guards have begun their task of enforcing your rule throughout the city. All civil rights have been suspended. No warrants or probable cause. Tie your guards' hands. Anyone opposing your ascendancy is quickly dealt with. The fighting will soon end. Your peace is at hand. My will be done. Wait for your rule to be secured. Time remaining 4 weeks. I told them. Time and time and time and time again. If they want a war, I'll bring the war.
Please dispatch gift boxes to the captain by post to avoid unnecessary queuing.
Captain rules secured.
Mighty Captain.
Almighty Captain. Separate radicals from society. Path of order. Captains, the guards have finished their task. All fighting has been quelled. All recognize your absolute rule. Yet the hatred that led to the war remains. Fighting will break out again unless we separate the radicals from upstanding citizens. We must physically separate the warring factions by placing one or both of them in special, monitored enclaves. Build a containment district for those that endanger peace in the city. contain Faith Keepers and Evolvers. Wall requires two sides. Both must be kept in check. You have to build two separate enclave districts. How do I build enclave districts? Oh, right here. Okay. Use the begin enclave relocation ability to isolate evolvers from the Faith Keepers. Let's see here. I need to put them as far away as possible from other people, right? That's what I need to do. Evolvers. Boom, boom. Oh my god, 14? Okay, I need more Frostbreak capabilities. I need to Frostbreak a lot.
Captain, can you hear us?
We trusted you. How could you betray us? Well, I didn't trust you, so, you know. You didn't trust me either, so, you know. Elijah Walker, 34 Hunter, angrily packing for the Enclave. 1 box. That's all we're allowed to bring to the Enclave. My entire life has to fit nicely into 1 box. Well, you deserve it. And the worst of it is, I look around and I see every adult, every supposed leader quietly obeying, meekly stripping away their lives until it timidly fits into 1 tiny suitcase. Cowards! There's an easier way to get someone into a tiny box, and I'll get the captain there one day. Faith Keepers are getting ready for their new life in the Enclave. Yeah, well, you know, all of you deserve it. All of you deserve what you had coming for you.
The steward?
Let's see. Aha, prisons. Yes. Prisons in both of you just in case. Wait a moment. Why? Why did you remove Surveillance tower, punitive prison, yeah. Punitive prison is a surveillance tower. Why did they remove? Why? Okay, let's explore this area and see what it says. Last camp. Some survivors of the expedition has been taking refuge in an old coal mine, but they refuse to return to New London without their commander. Here's our only hope. He'll be back, and he'll bring the secret to the first spring with him. If we can find out what happened to the rest of the expedition, perhaps we can convince him to come up. Oh. I'll think about it. Discovery Station, an abandoned research station battles the wind. Our scouts found a sealed case of letters from the lab at Fortitude Base, but the station's purpose remains unclear. The final note is addressed to Rowett himself. We won't need the others after all. We can do it ourselves. The scientific equipment is gone, but we could disassemble the structure itself. Prefabs? Yeah. Get me those. How many people are here? 2,000. Escort them to New London. They have steam cores.
Captain. Do you hear us? Captain. Are you listening? Mighty Captain. Captain.
Now it has a prison and a watchtower. Now it does. What the hell? Anyways. Begin Enclave relocation. The future of Enclaves, the legacy of New London. Captain, the infrastructure to isolate the troublemakers from the rest of the city is complete. Our guards have begun the relocation progress, pieces at hand. Yet some of them balk at the conditions in their new enclave. These ramshackle huts are barely fit to live in, says one. This is outrageous. We will not have it. Many Frostlanders and New Londoners urge us to ignore these concerns. Let them tend to their own nest. They've cost our city enough already, said one. What is your decision? Enclave dwellers have no rights and are lucky not to be imprisoned. Every morsel we accord them is a gift. This will cement the legacy of New London. The story ends here. Relations slightly improved with Frostlanders. Isolation should benefit all citizens, even Enclave dwellers. We will strive to ensure equal conditions in enclaves. This will cement the legacy of New London. The story ends here. I am the captain, and I say, even though both of you, Evolvers and Faithkeepers, have been a pain in my ass from the beginning of my rule, since I was a lowly steward, I am ready to advance our relationship into something better in the future. I will make your accommodations equal like all others. Unity achieved. You have united the city under your firm rule as captain. All forces which could have opposed you have been eliminated. The city will survive, united as one. The city has not fallen. The end of descent. The path of order. Our wayward city need a single voice to obey. a firm hand to take it by the neck. You saw this. You rose from the muck and mire and stood, our beacon in the fog. In the face of such brilliant light, how could we do anything but follow? And now, like the sea to the stars, the city is pulled to you. Warm in your light, we will follow and course your chart, Captain. Against all odds, I have succeeded. The city stands. The city did not fall. Under my rule, we have achieved peace and prosperity. You took matters into your hands. The captain lives again. Bickering factions finally contained. Maybe you wanted everyone to get along. Supported the Faith Keepers in their visions of the future. Maybe you tried your very best. 1,000 blah 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 students perform successful surgeries, children giving to be raised communally. Maybe you grew impatient with the bickering. Winter homes settled. It was the right choice. Yes, it was. Maybe you had to do it or the city would fall. 200 bystanders dead in civil war. 5 districts damaged. War never changes. Faith Keepers and Evolvers contain 0 radicals of all sides in prisons. Radical ideologies outlawed. New London is finally at peace. All hail the captain! Me! Me! Nigel Mill, captain of New London. It does not matter. Lily May, 14, acolyte, contained with her mother, smuggles food into the district, constantly thinks about the welfare of her people and how to destroy the walls of the Enclave. Maybe one day she will succeed. Maybe. Until that day, everyone will obey me. The only doubt. How long would it last? When you are gone, Captain. Cool. You know, the future captain's problems is their problems, not mine. You know, from the meager city in Frostpunk 1, I evolved it into a fortress of unity, peace, and prosperity. I did that, not the previous captain, no. Me. Captain Nigel Mill has achieved what no others could achieve. And there was peace. Until the day I die, and then a new captain fucks everything up. But, man, okay. It was an ending that I did enjoy arriving at. You know, that's exactly what I was shooting for, I guess. You know, at the beginning of the game, I wanted to make all factions. You know, I wanted to have a good relationship with all the factions. But what is different in this game, in the campaign mode, that is different in Utopia mode? In Utopia mode, you get an amalgamation of choices and projects that you complete, and it's not very, how do I say that the factions in Utopia mode are not like exactly contradicting the other faction. You know, if you do things for this faction, you're not gonna completely piss off the other faction in Utopia mode, but in this campaign, the Evolvers are a complete contrast over the Faith Keepers, and vice versa. So, and there are extremely important decisions that you make in the game, like settling Winterhome, or acknowledging the city as a faith-based city, or a controllative-based city. And those two, those two choices contradict the other faction if you were to choose from one or the other. So, in my opinion, the relationships of the factions are a whole lot harder to build up in campaign than it is in Utopia because of that. But for somebody who would be starting out in the campaign, I would say keep an eye on the Frostlanders and the New Londoners. Yeah, and keep them happy. Keep them very happy, because you would probably need their support more than the Evolvers or the Faith Keepers later on in the story. And that's exactly what I did. Like 2 episodes ago, I knew that the Evolvers and the Faith Keepers were going to destroy my city. I knew that I was going to war with them. I knew that I had to build up my forces. I needed to build my prisons. I needed to build my relationship with the other 2 factions. But, I did the prisons and the guards, but I did not do the relationships because it's too hard to increase them. Especially from where I was at in the story. But when all these things are happening, you got the Dreadnought to look after, then you got the Winterhome to look after, and then you gotta smother all the toxicity in Winterhome so that it's not lethal and all that stuff. I was this close to failing Winterhome. I was this close to killing all the inhabitants there. But in the nick of time, I did it. I had to reload a previous save because I did things wrong in one part. I built the housing and the teaching hospitals to counteract the disease, the toxic gases in that place, and eventually frost break extremely slowly and then build the toxicity centers so that none of my people die. But yeah, I knew I was going to war, and I did not like either of them. Both of them are extremes. The Evolvers with their blood sac technology inside their body, walking naked through the streets with blood tubes and prosthetics, and they want other people to follow in their footsteps as machine atrocities. And then the Faith Keepers here are radicalists who put everything in faith and symbolism. Putting themselves, smothering themselves in oil and all that for symbolism of faith will save us all and whatever. But no. both of these people, both of these factions are radicals. They're extremists. And I saw that 2 episodes ago, and I decided to assign my secret police to lower their numbers, and I decided to condemn them, demand their money, all that stuff in order to bring them down. Rounding them up to the prisons was a bad choice of mine, because that increased the tension a lot. It was almost at maximum. My whole UI went black from the extremely overwhelming tension that I had, and in my opinion it was not worth it to round them up if everyone else is going to develop tension. So I just let them be. And whenever they tried some fuck shit, I beat them down. And you see, it worked. I beat them down, destroyed their movements, and eventually became captain. Look, I won, but I did not win without some leeways here in the game. I won because I had 120 guards to stage a coup. That's why I won. You can completely destroy all the factions with 200 guards, but I did not have that many guards. Eventually, I had 122 guards, and that made me able to stage a coup. But if I would have played the way in which I needed the council members to actually appoint me as captain, I would never have won that battle. I would never have won, because the Frostlanders' relationships were getting worse, and worse, and my heat stamps are getting less, and less. And then the New Londoners were a little bit pissed off at me, but to cement relationships with the New Londoners, I needed a whole lot of fucking heat stamps that I didn't have. And one thing that I noticed, I don't know if it's a bug, but whenever I tried to make promises to the Frostlanders or the New Londoners, when I achieved that promise, nothing would happen. Like, their relationships would stay where they are and never increase. I don't know if that is a bug, or I don't know if there is some other mechanic that I don't know about, but I could not win the game by convincing the council to vote for me, which was extremely stupid, right? I have guided voting, so that gives me an advantage in voting, and then there were only 5 delegates versus the hundreds of other delegates that I have that were opposed to my rule, and that somehow made my captainage impossible. Why? Why was it impossible for me to become captain if 100 voters were for it and only 5 were against it? That doesn't make any sense. But like I said, I don't know if it's a bug, I don't know if it's statistics being messed up or whatever, but that's what happened. I only won the game because I staged a coup and solidified my rule as a captain. So, damn, this is exactly the ending that I was aiming for. Yeah, because like I said, Faith Keepers and Evolvers have been on my ass for way too long, and they are both radical extremists, and I did not want them in my city. Unfortunately, they weren't, excommunicated into the Frostlands. I had to build districts for them to be at, but well, they are in that space forever and ever. That would be like 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 a district with in Attack on Titan, you know, where there's giant walls and then the sections where people live, they cannot go to and fro freely. Think of it as the city of Attack on Titan in one place, and then Marley all the way the fuck over there, right? They're completely disconnected from each other until Marley proved that they needed to be exterminated. But anyways, you know, like that. You know, their districts are far away from the main city, and they have prisons installed in those districts and watchtowers, so any fuck shit they want to do, they will be those attempts will be squandered. And when I made those districts, remember that I was assigning secret police and condemning them publicly on both of their factions, so their numbers went from, let's say, 5,000 to 4,000 to 3,000, 1,000, and then like 500 members in each of the two factions. So they have this big old fucking district, but only a small community reside there. So yeah, that's funny. They have a huge utopia for themselves, but they cannot leave there. They cannot leave from there. They will forever be there until they die, and then when they all die, then I'll start repopulating those with my own people. You know, those districts with my own people. So yeah, you know, there's only one campaign story in this game, so that's very disappointing, but it is a big-ish campaign with a lot of multiple endings and a lot of decisions that you need to do, and it's pretty cool, you know, thinking about the decisions from the prologue to all the way to Dream of Utopia. You know, it's, you know, when you complete all these 6 chapters, it's fun to see the end credits in what you did and what you didn't do, what were your decisions and all that stuff. But yeah, if you want to side with the Evolvers, you can. If you want to side with the Faith Keepers, you can. If you don't want to side with anybody, well, your city is dead. If you don't want to enforce your rule as captain, well, you get the ending that I had. So it's pretty cool, but again, this campaign story is way too short, in my opinion. But you do get Utopia Builder, which you can select one of the 7 locations. I completed all of these, by the way. I completed all of these. And you know, in Utopia Builder is fun, you know, to play until you get to a certain point in which you can no longer do anything else because either your population will grow to an astronomical amount that you cannot keep up with it, or your millions and millions and millions of resources are dried up, or things like that. But you know, Utopia Builder is pretty fun until a certain point, like I said. But the campaign was entertaining, yes, but it's the same complaining and bitching and moaning that happened in the first game. People always complain, always. You know, they don't realize that we're in the middle of a blizzard catastrophe, and they just can't help themselves but fight with each other, you know? So, in comparison to the first Frostpunk game, your main goal from the first Frostpunk game is to have enough heat to be able to survive a lot of storms. And in Frostpunk 2, it's different. You survive only one storm. I only survived through one storm in my playthrough. And majority of the time I spent trying to fight two factions. So that's where the game differs from Frostpunk 1. You are more concentrated in politics, you are more concentrated in radical ideas, you are more concentrated in cornerstones like, progress, equality, tradition, all that stuff. I did not pick any of the cornerstones. And that contributed to making my relationships with the factions worse. If you noticed, I did not pick any of the cornerstones. But you can pick them, but they come at a price, and they're extremely restrictive because there are some buildings that you want present in your city, but because you embraced a cornerstone, now that building is operating at half capacity, for example, let's say. So choosing a cornerstone is extremely risky. But it does offer very powerful benefits, but again, it is risky. So yeah, I mean, Frostpunk 1, Frostpunk 2, I would say I like Frostpunk 2 more, even though that Frostpunk 1, I loved the city building aspect more, because it is more intimate, smaller, more specific. You get your hunters' huts, you get your research stations, you get your housing districts here and there, your hexagonal houses. And in Frostpunk 2, you have you choose 6 housing plots, and in Frostpunk 1, you only choose 1 housing plot, for example. So I like the city builder aspect of Frostpunk 1 better because it's more intimate, in my opinion. But I like the very big expansion of Frostpunk 2's settlement management, systems. So I think both of these games are very, very good. I don't think I like one more than the other because both of them have, their good parts and their bad parts, but they're both very good games, a very good pastime. The problem is, it's not fair. It's not fair to judge this, but Frostpunk 2 doesn't have a lot of campaigns, stories, but Frostpunk 1 does have, different scenarios, but it is unfair to compare the two because Frostpunk 2 released recently and Frostpunk 1 has been released for years and years and years, so I'm not going to account for that in my review if I ever make a review, but yeah. If we're comparing the first scenario of Frostpunk 1 to the first scenario in Frostpunk 2, now that's a better question. And I would say I love both of them. I love both of their stories, so I can't choose. So, yeah. Anyways, this has been all of all that is currently in the story of Frostpunk 2. I am not going to record more Utopia Builder, episodes because there's nothing really special in them. You know, it's just Utopia Builder is just a fun time that you have when you play by yourself. You know, there's no real story in the Utopia Builder, so I'm not going to record those parts. But whenever another story comes out from Frostpunk 2, maybe I'll feature it on the channel again. But for now you understand that I am the captain now. And I will forever allow peace in my city. As long as both the Faith Keepers and the Evolvers stay in their goddamn districts and never leave until they die. Peace and prosperity. Peace and prosperity. Thank you everybody so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you on the next one.